Houstonians for honoring me once again with your trust and your hopes for the future. And it did make me work a little harder for it than I thought I would this time, but I'm glad to be back and honed for the tough job we're going to have over the next 2 years, but a job we are all ready for. I want to acknowledge the presence of my family here today. Kathy was introduced earlier, of course, but my mother, Kay Parker, another native daughter of Houston, glad to have her back with me. Kathy and I have 3 children, Jovan Tyler, Marquita Parker, and Daniela Parker. They have to live this job just as much as I did, and I appreciate it. My mom and dad and I were both, or actually all raised here in Houston. We have a lot of extended family, and I know there are a lot of Parkers and Whitakers and some Dunnigans here from around the country, but great to have the deep roots here and the strong family support, and I appreciate all of you for being here. But Kathy's family is in town, actually her extended family, her brothers and sisters, for the first time in about 13 years, all in one place. And so her parents, Dick and Jenny Hubbard, in from Buffalo, New York. And her sisters and brothers are here as well, too. And so I'm truly happy to have them. Weather's a little nicer here than Buffalo. I congratulate our city controller, our city council members. This council represents the amazing diversity of our city, with the 2 new seats to reflect our increasing population. City of Houston is a growing, thriving city. We're going to have a lot of work to do this next 2 years, but for all of our differences, we share the values of faith, family, and community. And those values will unite us as colleagues. I salute and thank the women and men who make our city run. I know that the city's workforce is the best anywhere. I see them every day. I know many of them. I know the commitment they have to doing a great job. A global metropolis like Houston operates 24/7. It's a complex system that requires intricate coordination and choreographed actions. We rarely notice the smooth workings of this city. It's time to acknowledge how much goes right here in Houston, thanks to our city workforce. But running a city is a little bit like riding a bicycle. You have to keep moving forward, or you fall down. We rode long and far during this last term in office, and I am proud of what we accomplished together. But there's still a lot of work to do, and sometimes it helps to have some perspective on the challenges we may face. Last August, the city of Houston was 175 years old. We are America's 4th largest city, and we're growing. That's a pretty amazing fact, because we were a city that by any conventional logic really shouldn't be here. We were founded at the confluence of 2 muddy streams that meandered through the flat Texas coastal prairie in 1836. It was hot, it was humid, land was dotted with ponds of stagnant water, and the mosquitoes bred in abundance. Did I mention it was August when they founded the city? Houston was rife with yellow fever for the first 60 years of its existence. Epidemics decimated the population over and over again. There were no veins of gold here. It was really precious little oil or gas. No scenic vista, no great sheltered harbor. How would you put a city here? But those Houstonians, those early Houstonians, they stuck it out. They kept building, they kept coming, they kept working hard for a future they could see just ahead of them. Now the mosquitoes are still here. But today we are the home to the largest medical complex in the world. World capital of petroleum industry. The largest foreign port in the United States. We pioneered the artificial heart, revolutionized heart transplants. We're the home of the human side of spaceflight at NASA. The first word spoken from the moon was Houston, and I predict the first word spoken from the surface of Mars will be Houston. Everything we have done as a city in these 175 years has been a matter of vision and will, of taking what we have and deciding what we want, setting a seemingly impossible goal, and then creating it. Vision, commitment, hard work, and then a leap of faith. That spirit, that drive, is why Houston, in the middle of a recession, is still the #1 job-creating city in America and still the best place to live, work, and remain and raise a family, and it will remain so. The men and women on this stage with me today, and you out there, will make sure that we achieve that goal. My #1 job for the next 2 years is to continue to bring more jobs to Houston. We'll expand the programs we've already started to stimulate small business with access to loans and training. We will hire Houston first. We'll work tirelessly to increase our role as the energy capital of the world and a world leader in the next high-tech revolution. And we will fight for our friends and neighbors at NASA. Pastor, hard times prompt us to chart the latitude and longitude of who we are as people. Hard times test our character. The economy still dominates every conversation. It colors everything we do. Too many Houstonians are struggling to find jobs, to make ends meet. Our city workforce has felt that pain. City employees have been furloughed. More than 750 were laid off. We're doing more with less. But we are Houston, and we will come back, and there is a better, brighter future ahead, always. In the midst of these difficulties, we did not raise taxes. We did not mortgage our future with debt. We did not compromise public safety. We did not lay off a single firefighter or police officer. And many of our civilian employees stepped up and volunteered additional furlough days to help save the jobs of their colleagues. That's the Houston spirit. We took bold steps to address our aging infrastructure, finally recovering the full cost of our precious water assets, emphasizing conservation, and setting aside funds to complete long-neglected maintenance. In doing the responsible thing, we unknowingly prepared ourselves to respond to the worst drought in Houston history. And I cannot envision voters in any other city in America, in the midst of a recession, doing the right thing, the prudent thing, and creating the investment in critically needed funding and drainage infrastructure. This is a visionary step, akin to that in the 50s and 60s, which created Lakes Conroe and Houston, and secured the water rights which sustain us today, and allow us to grow. Or the commitment to set aside land and other incentives to encourage medical institutions to locate together and so lead to the largest medical complex in the world. That was the voters of Houston. That was the Houston spirit at work. And the future will thank us for taking these steps. As we navigated this city through the toughest economy in generations, I built my administration on 5 pillars and focused the work of the city around them: jobs and sustainable development, fiscal responsibility, infrastructure, public safety, quality of life. Those will remain our strengths in this next term. There's progress yet to be made on pension security for both the city and our retirees, on an independent regional crime lab, on phasing out the city jail, and progress against homelessness. These are challenges we are committed to address and have already begun. 2 years ago, I stood on stage and I asked of you 3 things. I asked for your prayers, for me, for the council, for our city. We must have had it. For though I knew there would be challenges ahead, those challenges seemed to grow in depth and severity each day. Somewhat telling that the task I thought would be one of the most difficult, redistricting, was actually one of the easiest and most successful. I also asked for your patience, and I suspect that we tried it at times. But I've always believed in a principled compromise that achieves progress. I ask for your perseverance. We rise or we fall together. We succeed or we fail together. And you have shown your commitment to that ideal through your deeds. You've committed your time and your energy to Houston. You, the people of Houston, have collectively given more volunteer hours than ever in our history. And I thank you for that. When Fast Company magazine selected Houston as the City of the Year for 2011, there was a reference to us as one of the world's next great cities. Well, Houstonians, we know that future is already here. There's no next. It is the blessing and curse of Houston, however, to never be satisfied with where it is and to always be reinventing itself. Ours is a city of opportunity and optimism, never stopping at why we can't do something, but always seeking out how we can get it done. We're a city that knows how to turn potential problems into possibilities. We dream great dreams, but then we make those dreams happen. Whether you find your strength in God, in family, in country, or in your own 2 hands, Houston deserves no less than our shared vision, our firm commitment, our hard work, and that continued leap of faith into the future. Let us greet our future together. Thank you. please.